Right, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make some space go underneath the engine, rubber engine mounts, just to lift the engine up a little bit, but maybe only by about 2 or 3 mil. When I first got the car, I had a problem with a really strange noise, and none of us seemed to be able to work out what it was. You only got it on real heavy acceleration. You never got it on tick over or cruising. It was just when you really put your foot down, there was a noise that was going right through the bulkhead. I mean, I thought it was clutch or whatever, but you know, it was strange. Anyway, then I did loads of research, and only by pure chance I come across an article that said that the V8s that were used by the police, because they were used hard in their early life, you know, wore the engine mounts out quite quick, or at least they went a bit soft and wore out, and they were recalled, and the engineers at MGB had to find a cure for it, and they realised what it was. The steering arm that goes down to the rack, the steering part that goes down to the rack, is very, very close to the engine mount, and with soft rubbers on the engine mount, the engine, when it twisted like that, just touch on the edge of the steering arm here. And that's exactly what's happening to this one. And when I looked down, you could actually just see some rub marks just down here somewhere, where, you know, as you turn the steering wheel, it was transmitting the noise right the way up through the steering column and into the bulkhead through the steering wheel. It was a strange sort of noise. You sort of knew it was engine noise, but you know, but you couldn't quite work out what it was and where it was coming from. So anyway, what the MGB guys did apparently is that for a quick fix, because they couldn't have the police without their MGBs for too long, is they made up some little shims, 2 or 3 mil thick apparently. They oiled the engine up just a little bit, they dropped the shims in, lowered the engine down, and it solved the problem. Now, when I realised that I had the problem, I then saw that my original engine mounts were completely and utterly shot. In fact, the engine was just sitting there on the rubber. They weren't even connected. So that was quite fun. So I did go to the effort of putting on new engine mounts, which anyone who's done it on MGB, certainly without taking the steering rack out, is a bit of a pig to say the least, but it's just about possible if you've got long fingers and a little bit of imagination and some sticky tape, literally. But it is just about possible to get your fingers and the screwdriver just on the end of the nuts. But anyway, I digress. So now I've got the opportunity of taking the engine out, because I'm going to put new clutch in anyway, which is another story, which is what we're working on. I thought I'm going to take the opportunity of making up some shims, like they did on the police ones, just for something. Why not, really? Only got to do it once, haven't you? So that's what I'm going to do now. Right, I don't intend doing anything too complicated. I've got a bit of trusty wallpaper, lining paper, offered it up to the engine mount, trace around it, cut it out. So I'm going to make it 2 of those like that. I'm going to put a little fold at the end here, just so it sits down and holds in place. Other than that, that's about it. So we'll mark them out and cut them. Bearing in mind that one's a left hand and one's a right hand, of course, to get the fold right. At least I think that's right. Complicated there, isn't it? Anyway. Right, make 2 of these, allow for the bend. I think we'll put that about 5mm on it, I think. That's my bend mark, not cut mark. Something like that. Allow for the bend, forgot. So, pick up the top from the pen, cut them out. Bloody mushrooms everywhere.
Don't you have no room, Bob?
No, chuck them in the bin. Keep telling you.
What?
Got a lot of mushrooms in there. Down here, yeah?
Okay, very good. Let's see.
Right, I'm just going to insert this little snippet. So someone said to me, how do you take the angles of the camera when you're underneath and working on the engine bay and whatever, and how do you do it one-handed and undo bolts? Well, you just sort of make it up as you go along, obviously. So picture of the V8, and I'm doing the undoing the steering box, and there's my boot, and there's the camera in the engine bay, stuck in my boot, focused down on that horrible nut and bolt right down in there, which I've just taken off. So there you go. I'll use whatever's laying around, and hopefully it works.